Good morning, A-Bird friend and fam. So, I've got this Chinese surplus SKS. No, it's not all numbers matching. No, it's not super fancy, and I don't really care. And the main reason being behind that is maybe I just want a retro rifle. I want that iron, I want that wood, and maybe your budget puts you in an SKS. That used to be a lot of first guns for a lot of people. First and foremost, magazine is obviously empty, bolt is locked to the rear, and the chamber is empty. We are 100% clear and safe. There is no ammo on the bench. Big safety faux pas, that's a fancy word for mistake, is working on a firearm with any ammo, same correct caliber or not, no ammo on your bench when you're working on a firearm. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a couple of little ways that I like to restore wood furniture on bolt guns, semi-autos, doesn't matter. If you want that iron and wood and you want it to look good, maintain that, longevity, you got to get the oils back in the wood. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to revitalize this retro stock. So stay tuned. I don't know how much of the actual disassembly, reassembly process I can get away with without getting a strike, so I'm going to do it in steps. So next, we're going to go ahead and break this action out of the stock. Stay tuned. And just like that, video magic, we're back. I went ahead and hit that detent, popped that trigger group out, pulled that magazine, popped the action out of the top, and here we are. So for instructional purposes, and instructional purposes only, we're going to pretend that maybe this stock is soaked with cosmoline. The number one thing that I have found is heat. What? Yes, cosmoline is a heavy grease, but what I'll do is I will actually heat the wood. Not so much that it's 1,000 degrees, don't light it on fire. Get it good and hot. We'll pretend that's good and hot. And then I take an absorbent cloth and I'll literally just lightly go over it. And you'll end up with the cosmoline in there. Or what you can do is take your cosmoline stock, wrap it in paper towels, and on a good summer day, lay it out in the sun. A couple hours later, go and rotate it over. The heat and gravity will actually seep out a lot of cosmoline from your wood stock. You'll be surprised how fast that goes and give you your wood to work with right then and there. I know somebody, and I know who you are, is going to make a joke about using the word wood. That's perfectly fine. Go ahead and make all the dick jokes you want. All right, moving on. So now you got your cosmoline out. I went ahead, you can't see it, it's right off camera right here. My bench vise is right here, so I went ahead and patted it so that I can set my stock on it and not put any more dings, dents, or scratches than necessary into my wood stock. Remember, we're trying to revitalize and keep it so that it lasts longer and looks good. Great. Okay, so quadruple-aught steel wool. I like to use Formsby's Furniture Refinisher. Great part is it's not going to lift a lot of stain or anything out of the wood. What it will do, in conjunction with quadruple-aught steel wool, is it will literally clean out a lot of the human hand oils and things like that, and it's going to just clean up the wood in just circles. And maybe some back and forth. Not a lot of pressure. You're not trying to sand the stock. You're just trying to get it cleaned up because the next step is going to be the most important. And you might have to do it a couple times. Just a little bit. Start with that circular motion, then follow the grain. And you'll see that it's actually starting to change color because I'm actually lifting out all the dirt. So I'm going to do this portion of the buttstock real quick, and then I'm going to show you the difference where we all like to put our hands when we shoot these rifles and the amount of hand or human oil that ends up in the wood stock. Take my absorbent cloth and I wipe over it. Now, you can tell, hopefully I don't get too much glare, but everywhere where you put your hand when you fire, you're leaving hand oils, you're leaving carbon from handling ammo. But if you notice, there is a change in the stock color from light to dark. And all I've done is removed a bunch of dirt. And right about here, you'll start to notice a change in color. That's perfect. But wait, now that we got it kind of cleaned up, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is an old Milsurp style rifle. You want that old Milsurp style look, right? But now you want to breathe some life back into that wood. So one of the biggest things two things really kill wood. One, over oiling your action and saturating the wood stock makes it soft and spongy, and it will deteriorate. Number two is letting it dry out. Literally letting the elements tear down what used to be a tree that in nature would be torn down from being dried out. So I'm going to take a quick pause. I'm going to get the equipment ready for the next phase. We'll do the maker better. Stay tuned. Okay, let's get those important oils and minerals back in that wood so that your stock will last longer. Feed and Wax is a good product from Howard. I also like to use good old-fashioned liquid gold. There's a couple little other old tricks in there. Everybody's got one, but I like to just get a patch. Put a little dab on there. And then come back to my wood stock and just start to lightly go ahead and massage it in there. And the great part is that by using a little bit at a time, you're not going to over oil the stock and make it all slimy and slippery. But what you are going to do is you're going to start to put those oils back into the wood. Remember, Vice is padded that this is sitting on. And all we're doing is we're just giving the oils back to that stock that it needs. So if you enjoy tips and tricks like this, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, follow along. And maybe if you've got a couple, go ahead and put them in the comments. If there's something that you use or some way that you like to do this to rejuvenate old wood stocks, go ahead and put that in there. And literally, we've got a little shine, not a lot. But you can clearly see there's a line where I stopped. And the dirty stock that's dry, you can totally tell where that's at. I usually like to hit this a couple times. This stuff is thick. Just a little bit goes a long ways. Because we're not trying to shellac it. We're trying to actually feed the oils and the minerals back in there. And the good part about this Feed and Wax from Howard's is it's got citrus oils and everything else. And it will actually do a little last minute cleaning as you go along. And you'll start to get something that looks like this. Now, even in the reflection in the small screen on the camera, I can clearly see where the stock is dry to the front and is dirty with hand oils, dirt, carbon, oil, actually from the action. But you can see clearly that section of buttstock that's starting to look like an actual piece of cared for wood. And that's what you want. Process is the same for the whole stock. The great part is I didn't want to do the whole stock in this video. This is just a quick little tips and tricks on rejuvenating and revitalizing retro rifle stocks. That's all I got for today. Everybody like, comment, follow, subscribe. And if I get enough feedback, I'll start to do more of this with some of the old school ways that I learned from some of the people that went before us, that unfortunately some of them are no longer with us. And we'll keep that knowledge alive because we'll continue to pass it on. Everybody stay safe.